Hey everyone, Rock DIY here. This is a 2008 Honda CRV. I've worked on these headlights before. They were much worse than they are now. But I'm going to work on them again because, like a lot of people, I went out and bought one of those kits that's supposed to help clean them up and improve it. But the only issue is what you get and what you have left is only good for about 6 months. And typically, you do your cleaning and then use a conditioner and you use some different pads and then you seal it when you're done. Unfortunately, the sealant is almost like a isopropyl alcohol wipe. You just wipe it on, let it dry, and then you put a second one on, and then once that one's gone, you don't have it anymore, but you have a lot of cleaning compound and the solution. And then if you try to get the actual sealant, they don't sell the sealant by itself, so you got to buy another kit. So I'm going to do these again because it's very clear, no pun intended, that these headlights are not projecting as far as they should be when the lenses are clear. When they're like this, blemished, and you can see a lot of just a lot of slop on the lenses. It's really preventing the headlights from projecting as far as they need to, which makes it harder to see things in the road and also for the driver to see what they need to see. So I'm gonna try a different process. I'm gonna use a 1200 grit sandpaper to do the initial cleaning, and I will clean the whole thing with the 1500 grit sandpaper, which is not normally part of a kit, because I have seen success with it before. And then I'll polish, and then I will seal it, and I'll talk more about that as I go. Here's step one: tape off all the painted surfaces just to make sure you're not going to damage the paint. And there's a lot of pollen in the air right now, so this tape isn't working that great, but it's just regular painter's masking tape you can use. Next step is to have some water, some 1200 grit wet sandpaper. This is 1200 right here, and what you're going to do is make sure you keep the sandpaper nice and wet the whole time you're working the headlight. And you want to start in one spot and do a circular motion all the way around. On occasion you can rinse it just to clear it up a little bit to see where you've missed. That's what I'm going to do right away. Start sanding this down, and then I'll show what it looks like as I go. I just started, and you can really see the yellow coming off with this 1200 grit sandpaper. You just look how it's coming off. Here's what it looks like after doing almost the entire, well, I've done the whole headlight, but now I'm just going back over it, but you can really see the yellow that's come out. One thing you got to be careful with when you got these little ridges and little seams and stuff is you don't want to overly concentrate on them, because it will really show once you're done. So give it about as much attention as you do the rest of it, because unfortunately what happens is you end up thinking that you're not going to get everything, and then you just wear it out too much. Alright, I'm going to rinse this off and see what it looks like. What it looks like after a rinse. And if I let this dry, you'll really see some light scratches, and that's from the 1500 grit sandpaper. So once it's at that point, then you can start polishing it to take out all the light scratching, and that light scratching is what actually removed the yellowness on the lens. I'm going to let this dry just to show what it looks like when it is dry. And comparison, this is driver's side, passenger side. Already a huge difference. Now that it's all dry, you can really see the scratching from the sandpaper, and it's not very clear. And if I was to leave it like this, that's how it would stay, and it would yellow up very quickly. But you can see that I've gotten everything on it. So now I can go to the next step, and I had to wipe up everything around the headlight. before I start polishing, to avoid putting what I took off back on it. I'm not endorsing any of these brands, the Meguiar's or the Turtle Wax. I was talking about this earlier, where you end up with leftovers but no sealant. So this is one kit here, and then this is another kit. The little wipes for sealing the headlights are pretty much gone. This one is different. It comes with a spray that you apply, overlap, and then let it sit for 5 minutes and then reapply. The only issue with this one is you get the headlight nice and smooth to the touch, and then you put this on, and afterwards it's really gritty. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use what I have. So I'm going to use this lens clarifying compound. If I run out, then I can go to the other one, and I'll be using this buffer right here with a buffing pad. This one right here. Here's what the headlight looks like after one polish. You're going to have to polish several times, get it clear, and you may still see some scratches, and in my case I do still see some, so I'll probably do this another 1 or 2 times, or maybe 2 or 3, and then just keep in mind that it's really important to get it as clear and as defective as possible, because once you put that sealant on, you're stuck with what you got. Just do a really good job when you go to polish it. This is after a second polishing and buffing. I'm not going to do any more because it is pretty clear. There's some blemishes up here, but that's inside the light, so I can't do anything about that. Now I'm going to put the spray sealant on it. This is after the first coat has been applied. Now I just need to wait 5 minutes, and when I put this on, I put it on starting at the top and then overlapped it 50%. So I had a total of 4. And then you want to go past it so that you're not bunching up the sealant on the ends.